Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, English Grammar 101, where we make learning English fun and easy. Today we're diving into one of the most important parts of speaking in English, which is verbs. Whether you're just starting in English or brushing up on your skills, this video will help you understand what verbs are, the different types of verbs and how to use them correctly. So let's get started. First things first, what is a verb? A verb is a word that describes an action, a state or occurrence. Simply put, verbs tell us what someone or something does. For example, in this sentence, she runs every morning. The word runs is the verb because it tells us what she does. But verbs aren't just about actions. They can also describe states of being. Take this sentence. He is happy. Here is the verb and is telling us about the state of being happy. So verbs are essential because they help us understand what is happening in a sentence. Now that we know what a verb is, let's talk about the different types of verbs. There are several types, but we'll focus on the main common ones: action verbs, linking verbs, and auxiliary verbs. First, we have action verbs. These are the most straightforward. They describe physical or mental actions. For example, the cat jumps onto the table. Jumps is the action verb because it describes what the cat does. Another example is she thinks about her future, where thinks is the action verb describing a mental action. Next, we have linking verbs. These verbs don't show actions. Instead, they link the subject of a sentence to additional information. Common linking verbs include am, is, are, was, and were. For instance, in the sentence, she is my favorite teacher. Verb is linking she to the information about her being a teacher. Finally, there are auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. These verbs work alongside a main verb to give more detail about the action. The most common auxiliary verbs are be, have, and do. For example, in the sentence, she is running late. The auxiliary verb is. Next, we have regular verbs. Regular verbs are words like want, help, try, ask. Then we have another form of the verb, which is the irregular verb. And their past form can vary widely. For example, go becomes went, and eat becomes ate. There's no easy way to learn these except practice and memorize them. Irregular verbs can be challenging, but with time and practice, you'll get the hang of them. Let's move on to modal verbs. Modal verbs are a type of auxiliary verbs that express necessity, possibility, permission, or ability. Common modal verbs include can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, could, and would. For example, she can swim. The word can is a modal verb expressing ability. Another example is he might come to the party, where might expresses possibility. Modal verbs are very useful for expressing different shades of meaning in English, so they're definitely worth learning. Another interesting aspect of verbs in English is phrasal verbs. These are verbs combined with prepositions or adverbs to create a new meaning. For example, give up means to quit, and look after means to take care of. Phrasal verbs can be tricky because their meaning aren't always obvious for the individual words. However, they are used frequently in everyday English, so it's important to learn them. Before we wrap up here, let's quickly go over some common mistakes people make with verbs. One common mistake is confusing the past tense with the past participle. For example, I have went is incorrect. It should be I have gone. Another mistake is using the wrong form of verbs with the subject. Remember that singular subjects take singular verbs and plural subjects take plural verbs. For example, he goes is correct, but he go is not correct. By being aware of these common mistakes, you can avoid them in your own writing and speaking. And that's it for today's video on verbs. We've covered a lot, from understanding what verbs are to explore different types and common mistakes. Remembering mastering verbs is a very big step towards becoming fluent in English. Keep practicing and don't forget to check out our other videos for more tips and more lessons learning English in English Grammarly 101. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more English lessons. Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.